We enter the third inning here at Ben Hines Field. Chapman with a 1-0 lead. 8, 9, and 1 part of the lineup due up for Chapman here in the third. Joe Jimenez, Drew Litwin, and Alex Cerruta. Jimenez, the right-handed hitter, sets his bat on his shoulder a couple of times. Keeps it there, awaits the first pitch from Norman is high, 1-0. Jimenez struggled last year, batted .195, but is swinging a hot stick, .353 early on. The second pitch from Norman is high, 2-0. Norman shut down the middle of the lineup, 1-2-3 in the second inning against Chapman. Now works to the bottom half. Jimenez ahead, 2-0. Norman out of the wind, the 2-0 is low, 3-0. Jimenez, the righty, bends his knees, puts the bat on the top of his right shoulder and sits it there until just the last second and raises it. But he's could have kept it there the entire time, as it's a 4-pitch walk to the leadoff hitter. The last time Chapman had a leadoff runner, it was Cerruta off the double, and they were able to cash him in off the RBI single by Kevich. So Jimenez, not nearly a threat to steal a bag, but has attempted one this season, was caught. And with Adam Santa Cruz already nailing 2 Chapman runners, I don't think they're going to try it. But it's always a threat. And they'll check at first. It was a good throw and a good tag, but Jimenez was back in there safely. Third baseman Drew Litwin at the bottom of the lineup checks in. Right-handed hitter, getting his back foot planted in on the right batter's box. Norman out of the stretch. Lifts his left foot and fires. A strike on Litwin, 0-1. Nice crowd here at Ben Hines Field. All of them with sweaters, some with scarves, some with blankets. It's a very chilly 57 degrees here at Ben Hines Field, and it is very breezy, as Norman's 0-1 instead is a throw over to first in time. So Jimenez at first, led off with a 4-pitch walk. Chapman trying to tack on to their 1-0 lead here in the third inning. Battle of 2 of the top teams in SCIAC, as this one from Norman is high, 1-1. They sent out the voting before to see who's going to finish first, who's going to finish second, etc. Chapman received 6 first-place votes. They're projected to finish first in this SCIAC. Verne, as Norman checks over to first again, back in there safely is Jimenez. Verne got 1 first-place vote and is predicted to finish second this year in SCIAC. The 1-1 inside, 2-1. Of course, Verne won the regular season SCIAC championship last year. Chapman is the number 3 seed in that playoff tournament. And they would battle. They would lose to Redlands in the first round, then defeat Verne to knock them out. As here's the pitch, is swung on into left field for a base hit. And rounding second, and a big turn, but holding put is Joe Jimenez. Good idea, as you have Cerruta coming up with 2 on, nobody out here in the top of the third.
Now batting number 4, Alex Cerruta.
And as we were talking about a moment ago before the Litwin single, they would eliminate Verne last season, would go on to the championship game against Redlands, and since they lost their first time, they would need 2 big wins. They got the big one in Game 6, 5-3, and then they were trailing about 10-1 was the score, and they came back and won that championship game 20-12 as Cerruta squares to bunt and bunts it foul. 0-1 the count. And all of that happened a year ago here on Ben Hines Field. And both teams back at it again early on this time in the season. So here's Cerruta, has doubled his first time up. Came around to score, has a chance to knock in a few. With 2 on, nobody out. Norman a couple of looks at second. Now comes to Saruda, and this one's fouled again. Can't get the button down on 2 pitches. 0-2 now on Saruda. See if head coach Scott Laverty has faith in Saruda on getting the bunt down, or if he likes him swinging here. Corners are in for the infield. Middle of the infield in double play depth. Outfield straight away on Alex Saruda. So right-handed batter waves the bat above his head and swings on the 0-2, puts it in play in shallow center field. Long run for Vogel, and he makes the catch. Runners have to stay put. It wasn't deep enough. So a big out there by Norman to get Saruda. Doesn't get any easier as Aaron Wong checks in now with 1 out and 2 on. Wong promptly sacrificed over Saruda to third base his first time up. See what he does here. If the sacrifice is still on with 1 away, or they're just going to let Wong swing. A righty takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Norman's second pitch is rocked into the second baseman, to short for 1, back to first in time. A 4-6-3 double play to get the speedy Wong. Some Chapman fans did not like it. Nonetheless, Norman gets out of trouble after getting the first 2 batters on, a walk and a single. Saruda would pop out to shallow center field, and Wong would bounce in to an inning-ending 4-6-3 double play. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We head to the bottom half of the third. Chapman hanging on to a 1-0 lead here at Ben Hines Field. Bottom of the third here at Ben Hines Field. Jacob Benson leads off for Laverne, takes a strike. 1-1 the count to Benson. Benson at the dish represents the tying run. Peck into the wind. The 1-1 is put in play down the right field line, inside the foul line. Fair ball. Benson thought about 2, but will stay put and be content with a leadoff single. And with the lineup turning over, Ryan Galan checks in. Galan struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Tyler Peck made quick work of Galan on 4 pitches, and the last one was rough for Galan as he squares to bunt. Third baseman is coming on in already. Pulls the bunt back, takes a strike. 0-1 the count. As soon as Galan squared to bunt, Litwin, who's already standing right around the infield grass at third base, as he continues to come in halfway. Galan takes it back, swings through this one, 0-2. So Galan, the senior, who is having a terrific start early on this season, came into today batting .467, has not looked good today against Tyler Peck. Once again, squares to bunt with the count 0-2. They'll check at first. Benson's back in there standing. Peck delivers his 0-2, is swung on and fouled. So So Galan squared the bunt all 3 times and has taken it back every single time. Took a strike the first time, swung and missed the second, and fouled off the last attempt. The 0-2, once again, Galan squaring the bunt and bunts it foul. Goes as a strikeout, and that is Peck's 4th punch out in 2 1/3 innings pitched. So 1 away in the bottom of the 3rd. Tying run at first. First pitch misses to Siffert. 1-0. Siffert bounced out to the third baseman in his first at bat, 0 for 1 today. As the lefty waves the bat across the plate, puts it above his shoulders, and rocks it ever so gently. The throw back to first is a little high. Sabedo jumped up and corralled it. Otherwise, Benson's going to second base and probably 3, as there's a lot of foul territory here at Ben Hines Field. Here's the pitch. The 1-0 is bounced to the left side, foul, 1-1. Siffert with 7 hits this season, looking for number 8. Peck's 1-1 out of the wind is rocked down the left field line, fair. It'll roll all the way to the corner, rounding third and coming on in to tie up the game is Jacob Benson on the RBI double by Tanner Siffert, and we are tied at 1 in the bottom of the 3rd. He bounced out to 3rd in his first at bat, and this one roped it down the left field line just fair, maybe about 2 feet off the line, and it'll roll all the way to the corner, 331 feet down the left field line here at Ben Hines Field. And the game's tied at 1 apiece. Adam Santa Cruz checks in. First pitch to Cruz is low, 1-0. Santa Cruz struck out swinging in his first at bat. A chance to give Laverne the lead here with the go-ahead run at second base in Tanner Siffert. Peck a look at Siffert. Now comes to Santa Cruz. This one's poked right at the second baseman. Wong with the great hands over to first in time for out number 2. Moving over to third is Tanner Siffert.
Now batting number 34.
There's still a chance here now with 2 away. Go-ahead run 90 feet away at third base in the freshman Tanner Siffert. The senior, Chris Perez, checks in. Perez walked on 5 pitches the first at bat. Takes a strike, 0-1. Scores 1-1. Chapman with 1 run on 4 hits, no errors. Laverne on 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. In the bottom of the 3rd, 2 away. Go ahead run at third. The pitch to Perez is a strike on the outside corner, and Perez is in the hole, 0-2. Perez gets the sign from his coach down at third base. Checks back into the box. The right-handed hitter waves the bat across the plate 3 times. Sets it on his shoulder, now brings it up. The pitch is swung on and missed. A high fastball got Perez swinging. Peck picks up his 5th strikeout, but Laverne battled back. They now tied the game up with the RBI double by Tanner Siffert to bring home Jacob Benson. So we'll go to the 4th inning. All knotted up. He had 1 run.